Exercise does not burn fat. What? This is probably what you are saying or thinking right now. The revelation within this so-called fat-burning secret lies in this fact: improving fat loss results requires ongoing fitness awareness and constant weight loss knowledge accumulation. Unknown to many, physical activity merely serves as a signal for change to take place. For weight loss, this change arrives at the end of the cycle, where fatty tissues enter your body's cellular furnace. Walking is a way to set that chain in motion. Of course, without exercise or physical activity on your part, the fat-burning cycle never even initiates. Nonetheless, it is not the exercise itself that is burning the excess calories. In fact, up to 24 hours after exercise is completed, your body can easily remain in a metabolic fat-burning stage. And this is the goal worth achieving. What burns fat is your body's demand for energy. Simply put, movement ignites and stimulates that demand. So, why does walking serve as a powerful fat-burning stimulus? And, exactly how can mere walking be so helpful? Your simplified answer is, the fat-burning process relies on lots of oxygen. How this works is that when oxygen remains available plus, and place very emphatic accent on the word plus, you are able to combine lengthy physical activity time periods with your oxygen availability. You literally give your body everything it needs to satisfy great weight loss requirements. Now, here is the master list of successful fat-burning essentials. 1. Constant, uninterrupted breathing at approximately 119 heartbeats per minute. 2. Physical activity intense enough to cause normal sweating, higher carbon dioxide exhaling, and heat generated by the additional energy you are expending. 3. Daily dietary food intake that does not exceed, and even better, is less than your daily caloric energy expenditure or output. Weight loss fat burn precautionary note. Regarding item number 2, physical activity, please be sure to move strongly enough to sustain your actions without burning sensation or muscle fatigue. Here is why. Muscle burn is the primary signal that lactic acid is building up in your tissues. Concerning weight loss, this only happens when your available oxygen supply becomes too short or extremely limited. Your body is already smart enough to recognize that, when you considerably cut down your usable oxygen, you need a different fuel supply source. Your body therefore grabs the nearest possible supply. It can find that other fuel source in your muscular tissues. This particular exercise energy or weight loss fuel source has the name creatine phosphate, but you do not have to focus on that right now. Just know that you need and want a virtually inexhaustible energy supply. Do you know that it is? Fat is the longest-lasting bodily energy supply. The inherent problem, nonetheless, and as you probably already realize, is that fat takes a relatively long time to burn. As previously noted, muscles start burning almost immediately when exposed to relatively high-intensity activity. Although this is a good thing, the drawback is that you can only perform intensified or high-burst actions for a short time period. And, this particular time cycle is not long enough for fatty tissue to break down, reach its destination, and start burning. Okay, now let us break down the master list of fat-burning essentials just a bit further, to complement your weight loss wisdom and understanding. Number 1. Constant, uninterrupted breathing. Focus here on continuity because the first 3 to 10 minutes of your workout activity is what you normally spend simply building yourself up to the speed, momentum, or intensity required to enter into your fat-burning zone. You may notice that the average adult needs about 119 heartbeats per minute to metabolize or burn fat. That number is part of a range called Target Heart Rate Training Zones or THRTZ. THRTZ can be slightly lower or slightly higher than 119 BPM, meaning heartbeats per minute. And that is perfectly okay because your THRTZ consider your age and resting heart rate as well. The final, desired, and most ultimate weight loss goal is to shave off as many excess fat calories as possible, both reasonably and safely. This generally means that a higher intensity activity, sustained over the longest possible time period, will burn off the most calories. This is a fact you can use to maximize your fat burn activities. Regardless of how challenging or difficult a fat-burning task may appear on the surface, you can effectively always take heart in the good news that, within your own particular target heart rate training zone, you can get up to 10 calories per minute, or even more, of fat-burning benefit. Here, you can easily see how this translates into weight loss progress. A pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So, working out at your THRTZ for 1 hour gets you around 600 calories of fat burn for 1 hour of exercise time. Some people do less, others do more. The American Council on Exercise recommends around 3 or more days per week of aerobic physical activity. Here is the saving fact about weight loss workouts. You can perform them more often because they do not require an off day or rest day. Remember how we talked about sparing your valuable muscle tissue from fatigue and exhaustion? You do this not only for reasons of safety. A further and also equally ideal benefit from doing this is that you allow yourself to last long enough to completely finish the fat-burning cycle. Your foods, after digestion and initial breakdown, have to become the correct energy substrate types that pass into and through the entire cellular metabolic cycle. The last phase of that cycle is actual fat burning in the mitochondria or cellular furnace. The output of that transformation produces the sweat, extra exhalation, and energy expenditure in the form of heat itself. These three things constitute the proof of successful fat burning action. From this point forward, you can recognize them as the natural byproducts of aerobic metabolism. Very little fat gets lost in the absence of these occurrences. Number 2, physical activity intense enough. Here, let us provide the most simplified explanation, the one that you can take to the bank and cash in immediately as weight loss reward. Countless individuals often mistakenly interpret normal activities of daily living as legitimate, fat-burning exercise. The key distinction here is intensity. Simply put, if your action is so easy for you that you exert very little to no sweat, your heart rate remains relatively far below 119 bpm, and your actions cause very little change from your normal breathing, it is highly likely that you are not burning any amount of fat significant enough to register as pounds lost over time. You have to move with the intensity that fitness progress demands. Normally, going slightly above and beyond your comfort zone is what this entails. The caution, of course, is to stay within reasonably established or medically diagnosed limits. Finding your target heart rate training zone and using it is an excellent way to be certain that you are exercising, moving, performing, or working out at an effective and safe intensity level. Number 3, daily dietary food intake that does not exceed. This one is probably already familiar to you. It concerns the food you eat, especially the amount. And, you can also take food type into consideration, as well. The bottom line here is that, by the end of each day, you ideally possess a negative calorie balance, that is, if your goal is weight loss. Negative calorie balance means that caloric energy output from exercise, diet has a total calorie count that is more than the food you are eating, which is caloric energy input. It is perfectly okay to think like a 2-year-old on this weight loss concept. Do the most simplistic mathematical equation in the world, like this. A, B equals C. In other words, calories in minus calories out equals today's body weight. Today's body weight comes in the form of a leftover or remaining calorie balance that can be negative, positive, or neutral. To lose weight, you want this number to be a negative number, meaning, you have lost some weight even if only a minuscule amount, because over time your gradual, small, weight loss increments translate to pounds lost. Recall that each 500 calories you can burn off, and not put back on via an unaltered eating style, contribute to an overall weight loss that transforms unused caloric energy into heat, motion, sweat, which comprise successfully metabolized fat. Now, what about walking? Walking is the virtually ideal form of aerobic activity or exercise for masses of people who desire weight loss results with comfort, effectiveness, and convenience. Walking does not require ball handling skills, golf swing or tennis-style form of wrist English. It requires no power punching or striking technique, nor does it require the ability to breathe while one's head is submersed in water, as swimming may require. To walk and lose weight, one can merely place one foot ahead of the other, over and again. Repeating this action within the parameters of the items explained in this reading, you lose a significant amount of excess, unwanted calories, enough to burn fat in reasonable, achievable, and measurable style. The possible calories burned per minute range for walking activities is anywhere from 2 to 13 calories per minute. Find your target heart rate training zone range, and walk within these parameters consistently for about 30 or more minutes per day, at least 2, and up to 5 or more days per week, for optimized fat loss achievement.